Quenchers for having us. Here's a song dedicated to them. When I say fancy beer, you say fancy beer. Fancy beer!
Fancy beer!
That's pretty good. Fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
What do they for when I'm lonely? I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
When I want you only, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
When the weather's stormy and daybreak is fall, I throw an extra $1.50 on the bar. There's no sense in 10 pennies. Living on the way you are, oh, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
When I long for a piece of candy, but I can't get it, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
No one there to hold me for the whole of the night. I put in an order for a $7 pint, though I ain't made money. My little glass is getting tight, though. Drinking a fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
Looks like Fred, you played pretty good tonight. Thanks. Are you sweating? A lot. Where are you sweating? Don't tell me. How you gonna cool yourself off after the show, friend? Fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
1, 2, 3, 4, drink it. That's right. Woo! Woo! When I'm lonely, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
When I want you only, I drink a fancy beer.
Fancy beer!
And when the weather's stormy, and the daybreak's far, I throw an extra $1.50 on the bar. There's no sense in 7 pennies if I don't know where you are. I drink a fancy beer, and I drink it quickly.